Hi, this is Weekly Reflections, and I'm back on, I'm recording this on Resurrection Day, Easter. So that's exciting, but I am excited. I don't know if it's going to come through here or not, but I had the greatest metamorphosis shift in my personal life and therefore in the situations in my life this week, following the equinox sandwiched in by the 2 March eclipses, and it came with a side of green comet, the green comet I call love, and it shifted me into the most amazing space, and I want to share that with you because I'm sure it's happening everywhere to so many of us. I want to start with Charles Eisenstein, who wrote the book Sacred Economics, among others. And my friend Mary Krikpatrck, that does Messages from Gaia, sent me a quote of his I want to read to you. Where the old story, it says, we are now living in the space between stories. So I titled this Reflections, The Space Between Stories. Where the old story of our culture no longer works, yet the new ways and story have not yet been fully created. That's what he says. Well, we kind of know that, but the part that I love is not yet fully created, meaning it is being created. It's just not fully created. And that's something we really don't want to lose sight of, because we're God creators and we're stepping in these roles consciously right now. So it is vitally important, because you're creating your new story with every thought, with every shift, with every place you consciously move from your 3D world into your 5D world. What I experienced was I stepped fully into my 5D world, and oh my gosh, everything changed. I felt like Neo in the Matrix when the bullets were no longer hitting him, honestly, quite an experience, and I've had many. So I wanted to share that with you. I have felt excitement about our new Earth for many years. Really probably since the late 90s. I've felt excitement. I've known it, feel it. We all do. I've talked to many of you. Everyone feels it, but you get frustrated. Of course, we've gone into this with what you hear is going on outside, which is really inconsequential because it is the old story, right? What's going on inside is where the real news story is being created, and it's so exciting. So this excitement that shifted in me Wednesday, it was like hitting excitement out of the ballpark, catching it with joy, and putting it inside of me, in every cell in my body, vibrating love and compassion at the same moment. And although it has evened out, I would say, because that was just so extraordinary. I'm kind of riding its wave now. I don't stay actually that elevated, but I am definitely up and down into it and out of it, enough so that I can choose to be in it now when I want. And that's what's coming for all of us. If you're not there, you soon will be. So I'm excited to write this. So what happened this week was my husband Mark and I found ourselves back in court again with our neighbors. And normally this is just so frustrating. If ever you want to see a system that's failing, it's our legal system. I can tell you that. And it was used to be so disheartening and so maddening, and to have to sit and listen when you know this whole thing could be solved so simply. And yet it's just like the old story. They're wrapping everything up in a package that they want to keep you in, instead of bursting out of the package and being free, right? So, but my husband Mark kind of picked up on my energy. We meditated in the morning, and we went into that courtroom excited instead of, oh my God, here we go again. We were excited, and it was palpable. You could feel it. It was not just rhetoric. I mean, we were in it, and I think especially I was in it. He had to testify, so that created a space in him, but he did a beautiful job of staying centered in his heart, answering the questions, and I could feel the vibration. We both said before we went in there, we were celebrating before we went in, because it's over. It might have to play out before they actually pull the curtains closed, but we're no longer participating in the drama consciously. So uplifting, isn't it? So anyway, that testimony, it was very hard still at first to listen to our neighbor go on and on. She testified for quite a while, and my attorney had said, we're not stopping her because she goes into spaces nobody knows where she's at, dizzy, hanging onto trees, she's saying, and all kinds of stuff, and you're like, well, all right. And we just, it was toxic spewing for sure, because friends in the back that were not prepared and in our centered space had a really hard time with it, although they held a beautiful space of love. And the judge, new judge, brand new on the bench, so amazing. His energy was awesome. And even the court reporter, just a little, I'd say she's a little fairy, a little fairy, heart fairy or something. So sweet. So that went on. Now, of course, it was about, this one was about the neighbors have placed old chairs, garbage, dumpster, mattress, tires, shit in front of the entrance to our house, like right by our for sale sign. And they had been told by the judge in November to move it, and they didn't. So there we are back again, right? A system that can tell you something and it means nothing. So we have to create a new story, and that's the exciting part. Our new story doesn't include any of this, and we feel very free from it. So how it plays out will be quite interesting. You know, it's like the curtain's closed, and the actors are still acting out in the background, but the audience is getting up and leaving. In fact, every minute there's fewer and fewer and fewer looking at those closed curtains, waiting for them to open again. You know, great metaphor, huh? I love it. So, you know, this Easter is Resurrection Day, and we all have this ability to shift ourselves into 5D. You don't need to shift the situation. This is what's exciting. You don't need to change anything out there. You need to come in to the most amazing place of joy and gratitude and compassion that you're watching that story play out, knowing you're celebrating and soon to celebrate even more such a golden new earth, as Eisenstein is saying back at the beginning of this reflection. In a recent message from Michael, I don't know if you read those, he died quite a while ago, and his mother comes back with messages, and I always enjoy them. And Michael said, knowing that it ends in Earth's golden age in full bloom, lets you observe the characters in their karmic roles and not get caught up in their oft tumultuous drama being played out. So true. And I've struggled with that. I mean, how do you take somebody so perverse and make it okay with yourself? Well, in here you can, because they're only real in that place where you no longer live. I hope this is making some sense to people. So I encourage you this Monday morning to look at your old story that you're cycling in. I don't like the word stuck. We're never stuck. If nothing else proves it, this does. Not to say I probably won't have my moments of going back, but I know I can return to this place so easily, and it's way more magical. I thought I was in it lots, but now that I'm in it, I realize I was just knocking on the door, and who knows? I'm sure there's more doors, right? It's very exciting. So when you choose to experience your old story differently, you will, and your emotions will rise to the occasion and support you in this, which is the feel good, which is the expansiveness and the joy. So a start would be to own that this is true inside of yourself and breathe it in. And, you know, as Matt Kahn's infamous words, as never before, that I am now. I am the light I am. Wow. You certainly are. And so catch your own magic this week. It's there, I promise you. And we are so on the cusp of moving in and out. So jump into it. Ask to jump into it. Breathe yourself into it. I have a closing song for all of you, which, of course, on YouTube I can't play because I don't have the copyright. But look it up. It's a song called Amazing by One Eskimo. If nothing puts you in that place, this will. I play it often. So catch the magic. We'll see you next week. Take care of who you are. Happy spring. Bye-bye.